Welcome back to the Thrifty Food Plan channel, friends. I am so glad you are here. This is a grocery haul and meal plan video, and I am in London again this week supporting my daughter, the college phenom, with some things. And I am going to Aldi for the very first time. Please do all the things you can to support this channel. Hit that like button. Please subscribe. I'm really trying to get the subscription numbers up here, build the community, and hit that notification bell. So the very first thing I will do before I do any grocery haul is I will look at what I already have in the pantry, fridge, and freezer. So let's get to it. All right, folks, so I have checked in to a new place for the second week that I am here with the college phenom. And this room, when I checked in, there was a bunch of stuff already here. So I'm going to do a pantry, fridge, and freezer, show you what I already have on hand, because a lot of it is stuff that was here when I got here because the hosts are kind, and it looks like they let prior guests leave some things. So first, when I checked in, there was this packet of digestive biscuits, they're cookies, y'all. They're cookies. And so I will eat those this week instead of chocolate because they're already here. This flat has like an espresso machine, which is an espresso machine, and you use it with pods. The pods are super expensive, but it came with a packet of pods. You can tell I've already made myself some espresso this morning. So that was like super, super nice that the host left that. Then there's some parchment paper, what they call baking paper here, a couple of little baggies. I brought the cinnamon over from the old place, the oats over from the old place, almonds, and peanut butter. Probably have about half of that thing of peanut butter left. And then, look at this, y'all. Pretty stock. So there's olive oil, salt and pepper, balsamic vinegar, which I could use on salads, malt vinegar, which folks over here use for like fish and chips, a couple of hot sauces, some agave, this is agave nectar, and some vanilla, some vegetable broth, some additional peppercorns and rosemary. These are the tea bags I brought with me, plenty of that. When those coffee pods run out, there's a little bit of coffee left, instant coffee, and there is sugar. Now, I don't eat sugar, but the college phenom sometimes likes it in her tea, although she may prefer it with the agave nectar. So we shall see. But lots of things in the pantry, which is super nice. And then in terms of produce, I have 4 little potatoes left over and 1 banana, which will go in my oats this morning because I'm out of apples. I ate all the apples and all the mandarins. In the freezer, I've got a couple of slices of bread left over from the bread I bought last week. And in the fridge, soy milk, probably got half of this left. And then when I checked in, y'all, there was a bottle of sparkling spring water. So I don't need to buy sparkling water this week. So exciting. And I have 1 serving of the baked beans left that I bought last week, a couple lemon slices, and then got some salad greens, some green onions, and 1 pepper left over. So I feel like I'm pretty well stocked. I only need 4.5 days of food on this grocery shop, but it's gonna be an exciting grocery shop because the phenom and a couple of her friends are taking me to an Aldi. Here we go. All right, I am back from the Aldi, my very first Aldi, and I will share my reflections on that in a minute. But this is kind of a little bit of a filler haul, sort of mixing up what I already have on hand with new stuff to get me through the next 4.5 days. So oddly, could not find fresh broccoli. All they had were these tender stem broccolis, but I've never had these before, but I'm gonna try to eat them. I got 2 bags of salad, Got a bag of clementines, a bag of apples, so veg and fruit. And then for proteins, I got a couple cans of white beans, another can of baked beans. They did not have tofu, so I picked up, I don't even know what this is, but I picked it up, and you can see it's made with chickpeas, so I am hoping it's high protein. And then for snacking, I picked up these lentil bites. Obviously not good for you, not good for you, medium good for you. So a little bit of vegan junk food. But this is everything that I picked up to get me through the remainder of my time in London from the Aldi. All right, before we can talk about the budgetary damage, we do need to look at the budget. When I was constructing my food budgets, my food budget for the month of March, the most recently available USDA Thrifty plan was from January 2023. And I did have 2 weeks where I budgeted for myself and the college phenom because I knew I was going to be here for 2 weeks. And when I did all the math and all of those sorts of things, the maximum I'm allowed to spend on food per the USDA is $120.01 US. Now, let me say, the college phenom and I do have a bunch of appointments, and so I am not eating at home all the time. There are going to be times when we need to eat out because we're out and about. I also am going to be traveling back to the States later this week, and so I will need some money to like eat in airports and on the plane and all that sort of thing. So that 120.01 I am spending for all-in food costs, the at-home food costs for the grocery hauls, but also anything that the phenom and I need to pick up while we're out or that I need to buy to eat while I am traveling home. I don't usually eat out, but this is an exception. This particular time with the phenom is an exception. So the maximum I'm allowed to spend for food is 120.01. And when we look at my receipt from the Aldi, I spent a whopping $9.75 on, actually, £9 75 pence on food at the Aldi to eat at home. And for reasons I cannot explain, there was no tax on this. So if you watched last week's last week's grocery haul video, you know that when I shopped at the Waitrose last week, there was a 20% tax. That stands for value added tax. I have no idea why I wasn't charged the tax at the Aldi. It could be maybe because I was someplace different in the city itself. I don't know, but I'm gonna take it. They didn't charge me any tax at the Aldi. So, woohoo! So, got to convert the pounds to dollars. And when I checked this morning, the conversion rate was $1.22 per pound, which means I spent $11.90 US on food at the grocery store. And for all the reasons I just explained, this does leave me with a lot of money in the budget for the college phenom and I to eat out when we're out for appointments and when I am traveling back to the States. Hopefully, I won't spend all that money eating out, but we shall see. We shall see. So let's talk about Aldi and Waitrose a little bit. Waitrose is the grocery store where I shopped the first 2 times in London, once in February and then once in March. And for the items that were literal, like item to item buys, where I was buying like exactly the same thing, the Aldi was always cheaper. Canned white beans, canned vegetarian baked beans, the crispy lettuce bag. As you can see here, the prices at Aldi, way, way cheaper. So Aldi for the win on pricing. So now I'm going to share some of my other reflections about my very, very first Aldi haul ever. Hello, Thrifty Food Plan Channel friends. It's Jay. Wanted to share some of my reflections about my very, very first Aldi trip ever. Where I live in the States, there is no Aldi. And I've always wanted to go to an Aldi because I watch YouTube videos all the time where folks do shop at Aldi, and I'm always amazed by some of the deals folks pick up. So, these are my reflections on my Aldi experience in London. So, first, as you just saw, it's definitely cheaper. Like, it's cheaper than the grocery store that has been closest to where I have stayed while in London, which is a Waitrose. If you watch the prior videos from London, you know that that's where I have been shopping. Aldi, way cheaper. And I could tell not just by what I bought, but also walking through the store, some of the items like soy milk and chocolate, like other things that I buy on the regular, were far, far cheaper at Aldi. So Aldi for the win on pricing. I was surprised by the diversity of options at the Aldi. I guess I had, sort of thought that maybe it would be really stripped down and you'd only have one option of anything. And there was actually just like one brand of beans, for example. But there was a diversity of options. I bought the cheapest options, but there was a diversity of options. Also, the chip and snacking aisle at the Aldi, completely out of control. Like, I bought that one bag of lentil chips. I could have spent so much money on snack items. That was amazing, like amazing. And one of the college phenom's friends who was with me, he filled up his entire basket with snack food. College student, so kind of makes sense, right? I also was really surprised by the quality of the produce, and because I wasn't sure, like sometimes produce at discount grocery stores can be a little off, but I've had an apple, I've had a salad already, I've had a mandarin already, all of that stuff, delicious. Delicious. So the quality of produce at the London Aldi, thumbs up. The Aldi, we went on a Sunday, and the Aldi was very crowded. And I don't know if that is typical at an Aldi or if it just happened that I'm in a major metropolitan area and went on a weekend after church time, and it was like bumper cars in there. It was really, really crowded. Another thing is, I don't know how it's laid out in the States, but at the Aldi here, there were these center aisles that had like all of these specialty items, and some of which were like things for your house, but other things I think were like seasonal food items. Like, how do y'all avoid buying all that stuff? I mean, I couldn't buy any of it because I can't take food and stuff back to the US, can't get it through customs. But also, I don't have space in any of my luggage. I have one little suitcase that I brought with me, so I can't take any of that stuff home. But I think that even I am pretty restrained on the impulse buying, but I think I would have a hard time on those specialty aisles, avoiding some of the deals and knickknacks and seasonal items. I mean, there were 2 aisles full of that stuff. How do y'all avoid it? How do you avoid it? One thing that I did not get that I think is part of the Aldi experience in the States is, in the States, in the videos, I always see people putting quarters in to get a grocery cart. And here, there weren't grocery carts. There were like roller baskets. And so I didn't get the quarter for a grocery cart experience here. And I kind of wish that I had, because I think it's like part of the Aldi thing in the States. That said, I think folks just grocery shop differently here, and there weren't big carts. There were little roller carts that were free. You didn't have to put a pence in for that. Um, and then I think like the final thing I have to own is that in order for me to get to an Aldi, sort of where I was, like I walked, I walked and met the kids, the college phenom and friends. I walked and met them at a train station. And then we actually got on a bus and took a bus to a flower market that was happening somewhere that they wanted to go to. And then we took and then we walked to the Aldi from there. And then I got on a train and came back to the train station, but not the one closest to me because I wanted to take a direct line. I didn't like trust myself to change trains because I don't know the tube system that well here. So I got off at a train station and then I walked back to my apartment, back to the flat, the room, with all my stuff. And wasn't a big haul, but with all the stuff. And I'll just tell you on Sunday, when I look at my phone tracker, I walked 5.8 miles on Sunday, plus paid for public transportation. And I paid almost as much for the public transportation as I paid for the groceries. It was £8, 70 pence, which is probably going to be $9 or $10 once you do the conversion rate. So I walked a lot and I did pay for the public transportation to get out to the Aldi. I am considering that fun money though because I can't eat the transportation costs. First of all, thrifty food plan rule only covers like the cost of food you can eat. And then, just second, like it's a fun experience for me to go to an Aldi, so I am using fun money to pay for that transportation. But did want to be transparent for y'all that getting to the Aldi was not free for me because I did need to take the public transport. I also walked my booty off. So, anyway, those are some of my reflections on my very first Aldi experience in London. So, as always, I want to do a little bit of a nutritional check in because one of the things that I love about the USDA Thrifty Plan is it also provides some general guidance about how much we should be spending in each nutritional category to increase the likelihood that our nutritional needs are being met. And when I put everything into the spreadsheet, I spent about 31% on veg, 23% on fruit. Grains, I'm using what I already have. I've got oats, I have bread in the freezer. Proteins, I spent about 31%. Dairy, again, using what I already have on hand. I've got soy in the fridge already. I would note that last week I did buy some plant-based butter, but it melted between the room I rented last week and the room that I've rented this week. So it melted and it got all over the bottom of the bag. It was disgusting. Anyway, but I do have soy milk, so I'm using what I already have on hand. And then in the miscellaneous category, I spent 14.26% of my dollars on those lentil chips for snacky snack. So all in all, I do feel like I'm going to eat in a pretty balanced way this week, at least with the food that I have at home. So the meal plan, I will have oats with apples every morning, and I do make that with a water, but then with a splash of soy on top when it's all cooked. I do use cinnamon in those, and I also do chop up some almonds to put in those, or some kind of nut. Almonds are what I have. I will be drinking the coffee that was in the flat already. Also, will use a little soy milk in my coffee. For snacks, I've got apples and mandarins. I also can make peanut butter toast with what I already have on hand. And of course, I have those lentil chips. For lunches, I will make a big salad with the green onions, the peppers, canned beans. And I will not be eating a piece of chocolate every day after lunch this week, but I will be having a digestive biscuit instead because cookies, I like a sweet treat. And then for dinners, for the next 4.5 days, I'm going to make all of that falafel, all of the broccoli I bought, and the potatoes that I have left over make a big batch of that and sort of eat that through the week. And then if I run out of that, I can have some of the beans on toast, sort of the British breakfast, but I will have it for dinner. And I am totally fine with that. So, Thrifty Food Plan channel friends, that is my grocery haul and meal plan and my very first Aldi haul. I would love to hear all of your responses down in the comments below. It has been really, really fascinating to shop and eat in London. And the Aldi was just, in some ways, it was everything I hoped it would be, except for not having the 25-cent grocery cart experience. Anyway, I will be back in the States next week, so do come back next Thursday when I will have another meal plan and grocery haul. Please do give me all of your feedback in the comments section below. Hit that like button, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. We'll see you next Thursday. Thanks so much for visiting.